Well, good morning and welcome back to Scuderia Blendline. There's probably a few of you, if you've joined us and recently subscribed to the channel in the last year or so, who are actually probably wondering who I am. I've been involved with Blendline since the start. The last couple of years have been a busy one for me. I became a father, my work life is extremely busy. So to be quite frank, it's been Tal that's really been holding the channel together with the 206 WRX build, the Golf project, which I was slightly involved with. And also his new project, the Z4, with the M3 engine conversion. You're probably wondering what I'm doing back here. 2025 is here. The last couple of years, as I say, have been busy. I have squeezed in some hill climb. And a little rally stuff, but yeah, 2025 brings a new project, which I'm actually on the way to now. Excuse the camera's just moved around. You can tell I'm slightly green and out of practice on all this. You can still see me, so that's the main thing, and I know you can still hear me. I'm on my way to the new project, which is currently a couple of hours away from where I live. The car is currently in the care of Sean Ellis, who you will have seen on the channel before. If anybody's ever listened to our podcast, Gobbledy Clutch, who's a co-host on that, and he's got his own channel, Automax, which is also covering some parts of this project himself alongside some of his other projects. So together we're sort of collabing on this one. This is an Automax project as well as a Blendline project. We're both going to be driving. We've got a couple of drivers, pretty good drivers actually, who we're going to introduce later on in this series. But thanks for bearing with us. Sorry it's been so long. I'm going to introduce you to the project. Right, hello campers. Okay, so I've just arrived in Dolgellau. I've been furnished with a hot beverage. It's pretty cold, it's about 2 degrees. It's gonna be a nice day, I'm hoping. We're just about to bring the Citroen C1 project. We're gonna fire into it as much as we can, strip as much out of it. We've only got a few kind of weekends available between us that we can actually work on this car. This being one of them, we're gonna get as much done as possible. But that's enough chat. Let's bring the car into the workshop.
Last one. Tom, you haven't even seen this up close yet, have you?
Look at it. What a treat.
Is this the first time you've seen it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And all the moss as well. Nice. So,
Switch it off.
so when you crashed it, was it that?
Whoa!
You did that, yeah.
Here it is in all its standard glory. So let's get stuck in.
Here we are, the Citroen C1 project, and it's not been in the workshop more than 30 seconds and already we're unbolting stuff and we're getting involved.
The seat's coming out now.
The seat's on its way. The seat is...
No, it's still
okay,
wires.
right, it'll come out in a second. Meanwhile, we've got to take out the rear seats. We've got to take out the... I haven't actually explained quite what we're doing here, have we? Let me take a moment to explain. This thing's getting stripped as much as we're allowed to do it in order to partake in, to be honest with you, what's one of the most happening budget motorsport series in the UK. It's the Citroen C1 Endurance Racing. The premise of that, if you're not sure, you take one of these Citroen C1s, you repair the damage that somebody's already done for you. We put a roll cage in it. You don't do anything with the engine, but you do a load of handling modifications, such as polyurethane wishbones, different drive shafts, strengthened drive shafts, widened wishbones, different drop links, a couple of other little modifications that you're allowed to do, and we'll go through those in detail. But this thing, we are firing into this car today. We're going to get as much done as possible. And the reason for that is we have a test looming, we have a race looming after that. And our halo plan, the big plan that we're trying to do, other than keep the dog quiet out the back, is the Silverstone 24 Hours, which takes place in May. So join us on this new adventure on Blendline and see how we get on. So part of what you have to run is these extended steering arms, bespoke made things, some different links there. Also, we've got a pair of these which are pressed with Powerflex bushes, and they're like an extended width, which is extended track, and that's all to do with the setup of these, which is all fixed. One of the very few rare joys of stripping apart an old motor vehicle is finding other people's old rubbish. In this case, I've found not 20 but 40 English pence. So that can go in the tyre fund, I'm hoping. Definitely time for a cup of tea.
Pull this side off. Stick kettle off, isn't it?
No. Funny that.
Might take this headlining out in a minute.
Yeah. We have to cut this out, I think. The carpet runs all the way up the back of the dash to the top of the bulkhead, and I think it's fixed there, so I'm going to have to leave that. Persist with the dash again.
Okay.
As for this,
We don't need to keep the headlining, do we?
Should I double check? I
Yeah.
don't think you do.
I'll put the kettle on in a minute.
I like the sound of that.
We don't need these seat belts for definite, don't we? So I'm going to put these in the scrap.
Yeah.
There's some bits like this you could sell, but it could be sat there for ages and never
could.
go.
Okay. So we fired in reasonably well into this. Yeah, seats out, carpets out. We've just been having a quick look at the regs. We just printed out the regs just to finalise what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do. We can basically take out all of the interior. We just have to keep certain things like the dash, the surround for the gear shifter and the handbrake we need to keep. So we're making piles just to be really specific about what's scrapped, which is obviously quite a lot of it. All the carpet, that's all highly flammable really. So yeah, we're getting all that gone. We're allowed to do that as per the regs, but it's the certain things that you have to keep. So we're being super careful on that. The other thing I should do is properly introduce Sean. So
I'll come in.
come into shot.
Hello.
So obviously there's a lot of you who will have seen Sean on our previous Blendline videos. Him and myself kind of leading this project, if you like, with the C1, and we did our ARDS test in 2020.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about racing for a while, haven't we? We've talked about the various different forms we could do. We considered getting an MG, didn't we, at one point? And then this fell into our hands, and we just thought, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just build something and go and race. And this is relatively cheap. We can make some content out of it. And we want to use our ADS licenses that we got a few years ago. We really want to do that.
That's it.
Like we've done rallying. We've done some. Well, you've done more sprinting and hill climbing. I've had a go at a hill climb, but not officially. I'd like to do that at some point. All my stuff has been done off-road, really. So I want to come onto the sealed surface and have a proper go at that. See where we go.
And you can probably tell there's a sense of urgency about this because we're kind of firing into this like a pair of idiots. The reason for that is the race season for 2025 is actually kind of looming. It starts pretty soon. it's not quite tomorrow,
No,
but
it's not.
it might as well be.
Plan is to break the back of it today.
Yeah, we need to do as much as possible, strip it and get the cage pretty much in position, and then the rest of it is bits and pieces that take a little bit less time to do. But so that's Sean, and then we've got some other guys. There's another chap who we'll introduce later. I think he's still in bed, would you say?
He could be in bed, he
yeah,
could be in Chester services, or he could be, well, you don't know, he could be on his way back from a night out.
Yeah, you never quite know with.
Or he could be on
with
his
him.
way to Spain for something.
You never know.
You
You
never
never know with him. So he's going to turn up. But
We'll
we'll
find
introduce him because he's going to drive the car as well. Of course, being an endurance series, you need more than 1 or 2 drivers. You ideally need 3 or 4 or sometimes more on the 24-hour races. So yeah, we'll introduce him later. But in the meantime, let's get back to stripping the hell out of this little French hatchback.
Yeah.
So as you can see, some reasonable progress has been made here. We've got rid of loads of crap that we don't need. Loads more stuff we don't need. And finally, we're getting to the point where we can dry fit the cage. Sean's currently just drilling the holes where they need to be before we can start welding it in. So we've had to drill out the cups for the rear struts. We just marked up for the rear supports for the cage, and also there's a harness bar that runs along there, the strut bar. So that is what we're doing next. So normally it'd be really nice to say, yeah, we've got rid of loads and loads of weight, but actually we are putting quite a bit of weight back in the car with all these bars. So you have to run a safety devices cage. It's quite a decent one, which is good news, because I think this kind of racing can be a little chaotic. So it's got proper cross roof bars, door bars, and the A-pillar bars are doubled up as well. So yeah, it's looking good. So a fairly accurate description of how the day's gone. Daytime would soon turn to nighttime, and inevitably we decided to just plough on and do as much as possible. So it's probably time for me to introduce the other chap who I'm busy dry fitting the race seat with. It's our good friend Mike Chen, who you may recognise from WRC. I don't think I've been breathing for the last 90 seconds of my life. World Rallycross, where he's a well-known person in the paddock, and he's a racing driver and rally driver himself, so he's going to be great to have as part of the team. We're really looking forward to having a laugh with him in the paddock this year. Making racing driver faces and everything. Right, nice little unboxing here.
Woo! What I'm thinking
Oh yeah.
is
New shocks, new springs,
Are they rears or fronts?
everything.
if we could bang some holes in for them and just chuck the pull cables
The
in.
enthusiasm lasted for a bit longer, but then inevitably we did decide to go into town and get some food because we were all starving.
What should we do next?
Zoom in on that and get Mike's PIN number. Quick pizza and Vinto break, and we're back to the workshop. Here it is, counting his readies. Well, it's been a long old day, but I'm heading home, and there's plenty more to do the next couple of weeks, so let's keep it on. Meanwhile, young Sean's been busy around this side.